Welcome in. When you look at how the wealthiest people operate, you will notice they follow a unique playbook. They build overlapping systems designed specifically to protect and grow their money. Most of us are taught to follow a rigid path: work hard, save what you can, and hope it grows. The wealthy take an alternate route, building accelerated paths that bypass normal barriers completely. Take massive public donations, for example. When a billionaire gives away a fortune, it looks incredibly generous on the surface. In reality, those massive donations rarely make a dent in their actual net worth. This animated chart shows how that works. They move funds from a personal bucket over to a private foundation, which acts like a tax-free vault. The donor still controls it. They can invest the funds without paying taxes on the growth, and even use that money to pay family members a salary to run the foundation. A massive charitable gift often doubles as a highly efficient financial shield that keeps the entire family's wealth perfectly intact. Keeping that wealth intact means defending it, primarily from taxes. To do this, the wealthy shift their focus away from a traditional salary. Regular wages are heavily taxed, so they rely on the profits from their investments, known as capital gains, which are taxed at a much lower rate. They also use the tax code to erase their income on paper. This chart compares those high-wage taxes to the lower investment taxes. By buying real estate, they can legally claim that a building is wearing down over time, which lets they lower its value on their tax returns. That single rule can wipe out huge portions of the taxes they owe. If they need actual cash to spend, they do not sell those buildings or their stocks. Selling triggers a tax bill. Instead, they use the asset as a security deposit to get a bank loan. The bank hands them cash at a very low interest rate, and because it is a loan, the government does not tax a single penny of it. Meanwhile, the original investment keeps going up in value. That original investment needs protection too. To keep their core wealth safe from lawsuits, divorces, or a business deal gone wrong, they place their money inside separate legal containers. These are structures like limited liability companies or trusts. By putting all the money in these separate boxes, the wealth becomes legally untouchable if the individual ever gets sued. Even their luxury spending has a defensive purpose. Buying a multi-million-dollar yacht is calculated. That boat serves as a private networking hub to close new deals, and it can often be written off as a completely legitimate business expense to lower their taxes even further. Restructuring your entire life so that these massive amounts of money become legally invisible to taxes and outside liabilities protects a fortune far more effectively than cutting back on daily expenses. Once the money is protected, it is time to put it on the offensive. The average investor might put all their savings into the stock market. The wealthy spread their capital across entirely different categories, like apartment buildings, private businesses, and stocks. Because these categories do not move together, a crash in one area will not wipe out their entire portfolio. They also lock their money into physical, tangible things, like fine art and precious metals. Over time, the cost of everyday goods goes up, which quietly eats away at the value of cash sitting in a bank. Physical items tend to hold their value, preserving their original purchasing power no matter what the economy does. They also hold a strategic reserve of raw cash. They keep this on hand for the exact moment the economy takes a downturn and the public starts to panic. Looking at this graph of a market crash, you can see how this works. While the middle class is selling off their investments in fear, the wealthy use their cash reserves to buy up those exact same businesses and properties at a massive discount. When the economy naturally recovers, their new portfolio rides that curve right back up, multiplying their original investment many times over. Setting up these multiple, independent streams of income removes the fear of losing everything. When you do not rely on a single paycheck, you have the freedom to walk away from a bad job, reject a terrible deal, and wait patiently for the right opportunity. By structuring their money this way, the rich design their portfolios so that market panics mathematically accelerate their wealth. Navigating all these legal structures and market cycles is too complex for one person. The wealthy hire a full-time wealth team made of accountants, lawyers, and investment advisors. While the average person is guessing their way through tax season, the wealthy have professionals actively strategizing their next move every day. They also rely on a highly exclusive social network. When your friends are also deeply involved in the business world, your friend group becomes an information economy. You get early access to lucrative private deals before the public even knows they exist, and everyone in the group has a financial interest in making sure everyone else succeeds. This structural thinking extends to their children, too. Instead of handing an 18-year-old a massive pile of cash, they use family trusts. The trust acts as a timed vault that drip-feeds support for specific milestones. It will pay for a college education debt-free, or provide the seed money for starting a company, ensuring the capital is used for growth rather than being wasted. Even with lawyers, exclusive networks, and family trusts, building this level of wealth takes a heavy psychological toll. None of these financial systems function for long without a deeply rooted personal support system. Having trusted family and friends to share the burden of difficult decisions is what keeps the entire operation grounded. Lasting wealth is rarely a solo achievement. It is an engineered ecosystem of specialized human capital, all working together to push a single family forward. To direct that team effectively, you have to understand the board you are playing on. Continuous, high-level learning reduces your financial risk. When you take the time to understand how the big pieces of the global economy move together, you do not have to guess. You can see what is coming long before the general public does. Compounding your knowledge daily is why we created the Alex app. It is a daily tool designed to give you expert-led coaching across 3 distinct areas: your financial health, your physical wellness, and your mindset. We want to help you build that foundational wisdom. If you download the app and scan the QR code on your screen right now, you will get 25% off your annual subscription. Breaking out of the standard financial struggle requires a shift in perspective. You have to move past the traditional rules of working and hoping and start adopting the engineered strategies that the wealthy use to guarantee their success. If you are ready to start setting up those systems and mastering the board yourself, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We will be here to help you make your next move. See you next time.